Alright, so Sultai, Planeswalkers here. This is something we played a little bit of last season as well, so we got a few that we're rehashing with updates to see if they could potentially be good. I think this deck potentially has a lot more play to it now than the 4-color Gates deck does, so I'm expecting this one to hopefully fall less on its face. Previously, last season, this was a Karn treasure map deck, and I really feel like in the face of 3-mana Teferi, treasure map has really fallen off the face of the earth. Between the continued mana investment you need to eventually flip it, and the fact that Teferi just like sends it back to your hand and all your hard work is gone, I think it leaves a lot to be desired. That being said, this deck did gain a variety of meaningful new tools, whether it's Tyrant Scorn is a good piece of 2-mana removal, or Narset or Tamiyo as new ways to generate card advantage in Planeswalkers, or Ugin as the top-end Planeswalker, where previously we had played 6-mana Vraska. Having our 6-mana Planeswalker generate 2/2s that eventually draws us cards, I think is a lot more powerful than what that Vraska was previously doing. So let's go ahead and hop on in to some matches here and see how this goes. Why does this deck not have Interplanar Beacon? Whenever you have questions about my mana base, I'd encourage you to check this article out, the Mana Math article written by Frank Karsten, and compare the numbers generated in those tables from the hypergeometric distribution and the spells I am looking to cast. So while my deck does have a smattering of Planeswalkers, the TLDR is that the mathematics doesn't work of playing Interplanar Beacon and still being able to cast my non-Planeswalker spells consistently. Start's pretty reasonable. Got a sweeper for an aggro deck. Got to search for a control deck. Blue-green incubation start here. The basic island likely implies that they're like one of the thief decks. I don't think I want to play into Frilled Mystic this turn. Let's spin that for now. Work toward flipping this. Potentially hit land drops. feels good, man. I'm just gonna put this land into play tapped and pass the turn here, I think. And then I think my play here is gonna be, if my opponent plays a land and passes back with 5 mana up, I'm gonna end step trophy the Incubation Druid. Nah, that's probably loose. Yeah, we're gonna trophy the crap out of this Nissa though. And then, actually, not only are we going to get to trophy the Nissa, but we're going to get to untap and Ritual of Soot and, like, kill 2 of their lands, basically, right? Seems pretty decent. Don't want to do this now, because it could give them... Well, I guess if I give them a land, they could play another Mana Dork, right? So I'm actually going to trophy this now with bad sequencing, because this bad sequencing could get my opponent to play another card into my Ritual of Soot. Shishisha! Alright. Just like we drew it up, chat. Bye, friends. And that's one of those, let's give my opponent a chance to make a mistake, and we gave them the chance and they made the mistake. Alright, so who do I want to get Frilled Mysticked? I think it's Narset. They passed on 3 representing Frilled Mystic, yeah. And so Narset's going to be card 5 to the bin. So I think my opponent's pretty unlikely to be able to interact with Search for Azcanta in game 1. So I'm going to go ahead and play this other Search for Azcanta out now, which puts the 6th card in my graveyard, because these are legendary. Which means if I have a card I don't want on the top of my deck next turn, I'm going to get to flip this Search over, which is nice. So, it depends on what my opponent reads me for, K9. So, it is basically strictly incorrect for me to Assassin's Trophy in the time window I Assassin's Trophied there. So if my opponent puts me on Jeff's an idiot and is just making a mistake here, sure, cast your Paradise Druid. But if you think about why your opponent's doing what they're doing, you might come to the conclusion of, oh, do I want a moment here? I think I do. You might come to the conclusion, oh, Jeff is trying to get me to make a mistake by making a suboptimal play. So, like, if they have mass manipulation here, do they want to manipulation just my Narset? So again, it's like that's where like levels come from when you talk about like what your opponent's doing. Are there articles that discuss the math beyond the total number of lands? So the long and short answer of that is I'd encourage you to do some understanding and learn how to use the hypergeometric distribution. So all of the numbers in those articles come from understanding a hypergeometric distribution. And if you really want to have understanding past what's in those articles, you need to learn a little bit of math to do so. No, the Fangs animation for Moment is new in the last patch. So now if they have a mass manipulation, they could take both of these. Sure. They must have a Hydroid Crisis here, huh? Yeah, nice magic card.
Let's see how you respond to genius.
Let's start with this, huh? Hey, Jensen, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. I appreciate that. Opponent's had enough. Negate seems good here. This seems fine. Ritual of Soot seems excellent. Their deck doesn't have a lot of meaningful ways to kill this, huh? I like bringing in one Elder Spell against decks that have a variety of Planeswalkers in them. If they're not a Super Friends deck, I don't like bringing in both of them, but I think bringing in the first one is fine against, like, loose Planeswalker decks. Alright, what do we think here? Need one more trim? Yeah, the Elder Spell full art is truly fantastic, like a lot of these. I think I'm gonna go ahead and trim. Maybe I don't want all the negates. This card's just excellent because of their Nissa lands. It's probably hard to hold up cards from this. I think Karn's fine. You don't want to cut too many ways to... You don't want to trim too many of your consistent sources of card advantage. Although I guess I am bringing in Thief and Narset, so maybe those are fine. Yeah, I'd buy that for $1. Let's trim the Karn on the draw. Let's trim Carney boy. He needs a land, but we're on 26 of those. Let's try and hit one. Perfect. Never didn't have it. So, the reality of my life is that streaming 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week is just not sustainable in the long term, Time Lord. So, my plan moving forward until we have another set release is to stream 8 o'clock till about 3 o'clock. And that doesn't mean I won't run long on some days, but days that I run long are probably going to be related to my viewer count. So on days where we like hit 2,000 plus, I'll probably run a little bit longer.
I think you will find my notes helpful.
Yep, as always, you can find my schedule on my website. It's also linked below the channel. Do I want a 1-for-1 Elder spell with this? I can Elder spell plus Growth Spiral this turn. I do have this Tamiyo to like rebuy Elder spells, so I feel like I can afford to be kind of aggressive with it. I could also Growth Spiral plus Narset here though, because I don't really have good pressure for that. The problem is they plussed for Frilled Mystic here, and I really don't want them to have a Frilled Mystic in their hand. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and just 2-mana kill this. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not going anywhere in the long term. I just, to maintain a sustainable schedule is like working 40 to 50 hours a week. So being live for 30 to 35 hours is about the ideal spot. I'm going to shock this into play around Spell Pierce here, just in case they're playing that card. Could get negated or disdainful stroked here. I wonder if I'm supposed to lead on the search to bait the negate. That's possible. Yeah, the way TCG stuff kind of works is like the longer, the deeper you get into a season, like the more interest falls off. So like my viewer count just like naturally declines as we get further from a set release, and then it bounces back up because people are most excited around set release time. Which just makes a lot of sense. So would love to draw another Ritual of Soot here, obviously. Trophy. I think I'm okay with that, because I want to kill this Nissa, right? So I think my plan here is Tamiyo, down tick for Ritual of Soot. And then I'm going to go ahead and trophy this Nissa to cut them off having a bunch of mana next turn. So Tamiyo, like, rebuys my sweeper, is like, hey, look, a distraction over here. I got 4. This will be the 5th card. So we're flipping this in, like, 2 turns or so. Now, they could have Frilled Mystic or Negate here for Ritual of Soot, which would feel bad, but it is what it is. I definitely think picking it back up is our best possible line to win here.
I question this outcome.
Would love to draw Thought Erasure here, so, or a Negate. Thought Erasure would be ideal because it lets us poke through Frilled Mystic. Huh. Do I want to lead on this because it lets me... Yeah, I think I'm going to lead on this. I feel like they have some kind of counter spell here. So I want to give myself more chance. Like, this resolving is, like, really important. And if this resolves, it helps me dig to Thought Erasure, which makes this more likely to resolve.
I have just the trick for this.
Perfect. And I'm actually not going to play the Thought Erasure this turn, because if they have double counter spells, yeah, look at that. Alright, so that's fine. And then next turn I get to play this into this, which the Frilled Mystic's now surviving, which could be bad for me. Maybe I'm just supposed to pass there to not get them value out of Frilled Mystic. So we could see them, like, fart this, hit me for 6 plus kill Narset. Depends on what their leftovers are here. Tamiyo's really just a sweet card. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Tamiyo's a little bit better than Karn now. That's interesting. So they didn't attack with these. They have like a Hydroid Crisis to cash in to draw cards here, because they don't want to. Because like they know it's going to get Thought Erasure next turn otherwise. They have 4, 5, 6, 7. So like if they have a land, they could like Crisis for 6, draw 3. And the Crisis does get swept away by the Ritual of Soot. I wonder if I'm supposed to keep some number of Moment of Cravings in just because they clean up Frilled Mystic. Wow, only drawing 2 off that crisis is really good for us. We get to flip Search for Azcanta this turn as well. I wonder... Alright, this Negate's going to be real good down the line. So this wipes out all of these except for Frilled Mystic. And they're sitting on a couple of Mass Manipulations here that they can't currently cast. Like, Nissa's their best possible draw here. If we fade a Planeswalker this turn, we're going to be in a really good spot. So it's not a Nissa, it could be a Tamiyo. Druid, not that big of a deal. You know, I think I'm actually just gonna 1-for-1 this here. Like, it's the difference between a 3-turn clock and a 4-turn clock. Maybe I'm supposed to have kept that Swamp last turn, so that way I can play a 4-mana spell and activate this. Yeah, the opponent's deck is like would be considered the best Nissa deck in the format, I would think. Nice Troll. Yeah, I really like that archetype. It's definitely my favorite right now. So we need to find a removal spell for this. If we do, we'll be in a pretty reasonable spot. Okay. You always get, it feels like you just like always get the double spell Karns when like you'd really prefer a land. Because like ideally I'd like to trophy plus negate here, and I just can't with the way my mana is. Because I don't want to trophy this, because then I can't negate this. Sure. Maybe I'm supposed to down tick Karn here. Okay, maybe I'm supposed to down tick Karn there. Instead of being forced, because like now I'm forced to trade this for this. But I guess that's kind of leaves me in an okay spot, right? And actually, let's do Narset here, because I can still hold Negate up.
My prowess is the thoughtfulness before action.
So I'm dead to... not a lot, really. And there's a Thought Erasure and Exile on Karn, right? Yeah, so I get to negate Mass Manipulation this turn, and then next turn my Karn down ticks and takes the other one, and we're just in an incredible spot. I just need to manage to not die to this Frilled Mystic, which they might offer this trade. Kind of surprised they didn't offer the trade. Negate wouldn't have killed me. They didn't have enough lands.
The time has come.
So I'm going to trophy this before I hit them with Thief of Sanity, because I want them to thin the land out of their deck before I draw a card. Yeah, really feels like, no, chat, they only had they drew a land for the turn. So if they would have drawn Negate for the turn, they wouldn't have had 8 mana. Is what you're missing, saying Negate would have done it. Hey, Chris Alfie, thanks for the 3rd of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So another Mass Manipulation is really their. Well, I guess Nissa would have actually been lethal here, huh? It's just weird, Wolfie. Let me know if there's a deck you'd like to pump up. Yikes. Yikes. Here's another Narset and Exile. Alright, let's hit them with Thief, and then we'll probably grab the Narset depending on what we find here. We're hoping to find like a... We're just... Good lord. We're basically just like looking to slowly close off all of my opponent's outs. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to make a construct to beat Nissa. I could see that.
If you wish to surrender now, I understand. Hone your prowess.
They have a Frilled Mystic? For fuck's sake. That's so unreal. Good lord, that's frustrating. We hit 6 lands in a row off the top of their deck with fucking Thief, and then just... This game sucks sometimes. That was Saturday. Saturday, like, I lost my second match just, like, keeping 2 landers and never drawing a third land 2 games in a row. It's just, like, how it goes. Thanks for the 21 months, Nova. Welcome back. Maybe I'm supposed to leave in some of these. Probably supposed to leave in some of these. Sure, you can say I'm supposed to look back and make a construct to play around them drawing their 3rd Frilled Mystic, or you could be like, well, I'm gonna get 8 looks in case they drew their 3rd Frilled Mystic. Like, I think making a construct there is wrong. I think taking my Narset, getting a Narset down tick plus an Azcanta activation to like play around them drawing that. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to be super conservative because I'm so far ahead. Supposed to play around them drawing like the best card in their deck. The 3rd copy of the best card in their deck. I think that's a huge cop-out for Azwazzle. How can you watch that game we just played and come to the conclusion it was about who was on the play? Like, who was on the play had nothing to do with that game of Magic we just played. Alright, so making a construct doesn't play around Frilled Mystic into Nissa, though. Maybe I'm just not supposed to attack with Thief. I think I'm gonna do this to try and hit a land to play the Search for Azcanta this turn, too. I don't know. Like, I had to brick on a Narset down tick, a Search for Azcanta activation, and a Thief of Sanity hitting them. So I had to brick on 3 cards off of their deck and 8 cards off of mine. Ralminkin will do, Wolfie. Alright, looking for a Ritual of Soot. For what it's worth, I think the people that are saying I should have made a construct are correct. My opponent had to get extremely lucky to win there, but I put them in a position where they could get lucky. If I had played better, my opponent would not have been in a position to have an out that game. I think I'm gonna keep that. Like, if I dig for a land, I could cast the Ugin, but like I could just get Frilled Mystic, and this is an out to like their next big play. Like, if I play Ugin and they mass manipulation, trophy cleans up. Opponent's really good at drawing Frilled Mystic. I think I need a second one of those.
Until you have lived as a statue, do not.
There's the Karn I know and love. Plus, give me a land. Thank you. Looking for Tamiyos and Planeswalkers at this point. We're going to flip our search for Azcanta. Again, feels like we're sliding towards the realm of being pretty far ahead here. Opponents flooding out a bit in their ramp deck. So, really at this point, I'm kind of, so like at this point in the game, I'm kind of interested in just like thinking about what all my opponents outs are to climb back in and then slowly working my way from there. So like in this position, for instance, one of my opponent's outs is a Hydrate Crisis, and Narset covers Hydrate Crisis, which is nice. Now, this does give them a window to draw Nissa, but I have Elder Spell for... I guess this gives them a chance to draw Mass Manipulation. Maybe I should have down-ticked Karn to grab the land.
You have experience. I know I noted.
I have Elder Spell even if they take Mass Manipulation here, so that's nice. So I see a lot of Sultai Explore, and I see the Merit of Black, but is Abzan or Jund Explore ever been a thing? Not really. Because again, it comes down to like, what's the payoff? Why are we doing this? So Narset's gonna die, and then I get to play another Narset and Elder Spell these two and crank her up. Wow, we're just going after me, huh? That's aggressive. There's just lands in exile there. So let's start with this.
Just the trick for this. Time together is finished.
Let's learn from our mistakes last time and just start making constructs.
Awaken.
Keep our health a little high here. I think we have all our bases covered at this point, so let's just like not lose by mistake, basically. If infinite card draw set up, that just doesn't matter because I have this. So we're looking for a Ritual of Soot at this point. Tamiyo also turns into a Ritual of Soot.
With thoughtfulness before action.
Now, this is going to give them a window. Oh wait, I haven't played a land yet this turn, right? So I can down tick Karn and grab a land.
Nothing is ever true.
Perfect. Because this gives me negate to cover things. I'm just, again, thinking about the things I can lose to. The thing I lose to from this position is mass manipulation, so leaving negate up covers mass manipulation. I just need to find a way to win the game at this point, and there's Ugins in my bin that Tamiyo eventually gets back. Probably gonna plus Tamiyo, looking for the Thief of Sanity this turn, and then next turn we'll down tick her and get an Ugin. I could also start making constructs potentially.
Meditate and prepare. contrary.
Hey, Kid Yamo, thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Narset is a heck of a drug.
You may regret that choice.
Idol, thanks for the 22 months. Hope you're having a great Monday. Welcome. Yeah, Hydrate. Narset, like, on full display this game of, like, why Hydrate Crisis' stock has gone way down. Alright, so it looks like we're going to manage to win in 3 after making a pretty big mistake in game 2. Four-color gates is very bad in this format. Mostly because of this card. It's fine. It's fine. We're super ahead. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's fine. We're super ahead.
No tail should be discarded.
Yeah, 3 mana Narset and 3 mana Teferi pushed the format a lot, which is really pretty sweet. Alright, that was a sweet first match. How we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody, wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I take it Modern went well this morning. We did. We 4-1'd in less than an hour. Deck was actually kind of sweet. Welcome to everybody. I stream Magic full-time here on Twitch. I'm here streaming 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you enjoy constructed Magic, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a ton of Standard here on Arena. We also play some Modern and Legacy in the mornings on Magic Online. As always, I'd like to give a shout out to my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their support, so thanks to all of them for keeping me employed. I'd also like to plug a couple of my sponsors here really quick. The Vitamin String Quartet provides wonderful instrumental covers of everything from Zelda to Zeppelin, and they would love to underscore your next gaming session. You can find them streaming now on services such as Spotify and Apple Music. InkedGaming.com will love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mousepads, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom work or choose from the wide range of artwork that they have on their website, such as my own Hoaglandia branded merchandise. Cardsphere.com will love to help you turn your cards into other cards directly to the players. There's no haggling, and they just take 1% fee off the top. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you stopping in. It's been part of your Monday here with us. Happy Memorial Day to everybody in the United States. That's a sweet one, Marty. This hand needs some land, but we're on the draw, and we've got some Thought Erasures to help us surveil, so let's do it. These are good against control. This is decent against aggro. We got a piece of spot removal here. Perfect. Found our second blue source and 4th land guaranteed. This matchup's probably going to be tough. We don't have a ton of pressure that we apply, and I did not put Graveyard Hate in my 75. CBC Spartans, thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome to a live one. Metallics, thanks for half a year. So Dreadhoard's the big scary one, so probably just want to get rid of that. I think I'm actually supposed to keep Ugin here, because I need a way to close the game out quickly. The problem with playing mid-range decks against like what my opponent's doing is even if I pick apart stuff like this, we still got by Tamiyo picking their stuff back up and providing redundancy that way. I did put a couple copies of Narset's Reversal in my sideboard as Command the Dread Horde Hate, so hopefully those come up and are useful. Okay, sweet. So we're going to get to Thought Erasure here. Clear their Vraska. Hopefully dig to a land. We get to Ritual of Soot next turn. Hey, Scryman. Glad to be back in Oglandia. Sitting outside the castle is scary with the muted people. Magic. Remember when I said the discard spells aren't very good because Tamiyo? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Hey, a Wild Vaporeon has appeared with a tier 1 sub. Thanks for the support. I appreciate that. And picking the Vraska back up here actually means the Censure the God Eternals isn't particularly useful at this point. So probably gonna trophy the Vraska. But then, like, if I'm trophying the Vraska, like, they get to keep the Tamiyo. Which, again, just, like, such a good example of why, like, this matchup is bad for anything mid-ranger controlling. Majestic Eagle, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yikes. That is, yeah, I'm just gonna get buried in card advantage here, unfortunately.
Let's slow this down.
Land, please. Land, please. Yeah, I think we're pretty dead here at this point. Get some Elder Spells and some Narset Reversals and Negates in our deck. Maybe have a shot. God Eternals is slow. Tezzeret's probably slow. Moment of Craving doesn't kill much. Cruelty exiling Wild Growth Walker is, like, actually not irrelevant. I don't know if it's better than the other cards I have, though. I probably have a hard time protecting Narset Parter Avails. Maybe I trim her. Is this enough at my top end for card advantage, basically, would be the question then. Yeah, so, like, one of the reasons, again, why their deck is so good against us is it pulls us in a lot of different directions. So, like, Tyrant Scorn is definitely bad against a variety of their draws, but it's really good against some others. Maybe it's not good enough. I am leaving in a bunch of Ritual of Soots. Maybe Narset as a way to find this more often is better than that. And, like, Narset also digs to, like, this and this. Yeah, maybe that's right. I don't know. I could go either way on that. It could also be that, like, maybe I want more spot removal when I'm on the draw, because my opponent's more likely to get an aggressive draw and run me out when they're on the play. Pretty easy mulligan here. Mana just doesn't work. Sion's fine. Not amazing, but fine. Just gonna go ahead and keep my guaranteed 4th land here. If they play Wild Growth on 2, I might just Cruelty it. Because again, exiling that means that they're unable to get it back later, which is nice. Yep. So, if they play 3-mana Teferi on 3, I think I'm going to Cruelty the Branch Walker, just so I can play Tamiyo on an empty board. I'm going to take this hit here, because if they play another creature on 3, I don't want to Cruelty. So if they would have played a creature here, I would Ritual on 4. But because they didn't play a creature, I'm just going to go ahead and do this in Tamiyo.
My responsibility. Trust me.
At the absolute latest, we're going to get the new non-rotating format when rotation happens this fall. In my opinion, the correct decision on Wizards of the Coast part would be to introduce their new non-rotating format sometime this summer, probably a month or two after M20 releases. Because I think releasing a new format while you're rotating your standard kind of splits focus from standard. And when your rotation happens, you should want as much focus on standard as possible. So if they release the new format this summer, it would allow them to kind of break some of that mid-format lull that naturally happens in card games, and not draw focus from standard later on. Double Dread Horde Time Raveler. I think I just erasure them twice taking these Dread Hordes, huh? Well, I guess they're not casting this one next turn. We've not gotten any final confirmation on what they're going to include. No. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to... Let's start by plussing Tamiyo and see what we get. What do I even want with this Tamiyo? There's 3 copies of Negate in my deck. Let's start with that.
Let me aid your
Oh, I guess they have a 3-mana Teferi in play. I'm going to name Assassin's Trophy, actually. Tamiyo did ditch an Ugin. So next turn I can down tick Tamiyo, pick up Ugin, play Ugin plus him, start generating 2/2s.
No one asked for your input.
Whenever we'll see them bounce their Branch Walker to get another Explore trigger here. Because they want to draw cards, right?
I've got time.
The reason they're not going to release Modern Horizons... Anyone who thinks they're going to release Modern Horizons on Arena doesn't understand the technical requirements of, like, having that many new mechanics added to an application like this. I guess if I down tick the Tamiyo to pick up Ugin, they then get to tuck the token and then kill my Tamiyo, but I think that's fine because then Ugin kills Teferi.
The storied past holds our
Like adding a new set to something like Magic Arena is a lot of work to begin with, but adding a new set with lots of mechanics would be just like extra difficulty.
Rest before you.
Yeah, I agree, B-Rich. I'd be very surprised if they have any intention of releasing Modern in general into Arena in the future, or something like Modern Horizons. Alright, well, they didn't tuck this, so that works for me.
If you show remorse, I'll show restraint. Not so fast.
I have Tamiyo in play, so tucking my Ugin while I have a Tamiyo in play seems real loose.
I know I noted this somewhere.
Whoa! Well, that worked out better than expected.
When you understand reality, be gone, interloper.
Be gone, interloper.
Really should have seen that coming.
Won't you take me to Value Town? Won't you take me to Value Town? Do. They multiply when they tucked. Wait, Teferi tucked Ugin and we got a second Ugin. I feel like there's some kind of crude joke we can make in there, but I'm not quite sure what direction to go in. Yeah, a new format's confirmed for Arena. You have to give people something to do with their cards when they rotate out of Standard. Also, past that, Magic as a whole, even in paper, is just kind of due for a new non-rotating format. When the October set releases this year, Modern will be as big as Legacy was when Modern was created. Is a fun numbers fact. Greg, thank you for the 9-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, so we're going to plus this Tamiyo and hit the Elder spell.
Seek and find.
Lies beyond.
Who doesn't love a good 2-mana card? Tamiyo's been really good. I think there's a good chance that we just want a third Tamiyo instead of the third Karn in this deck. This card's just great in general. Sure, so I didn't say number of years, Lig. I said the number of sets that were in these formats. So when Modern was created around 2011 or whenever it was, it went back a number of sets. So I'm blanking on the exact number, but it's around 60. So when Modern was created, Legacy had approximately 60 sets in it. And when we get a new format in the fall, the current Modern format will also have about 60 sets in it, which is a lot of Magic sets. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. Narsets felt reasonable there as opposed to Tyrant, Scorn. I'm leaving in 3 Soots, 2 Cruelty, 3 Trophy as ways to stop the early aggression. Maybe I do want these Scorns to not get run over. I'm going to bring those back in, trim around the edges. Modern has a lot of mechanics in it, and are arguably so high in the storm count that it'd be useful to have another format. I agree, Callan. Also, like, one of the things that these non-rotating formats are supposed to do is give people something to do with their cards when they rotate out of Standard. And as Modern gets bigger, the power level goes up and up and up, right? So as the power level of this format increases, fewer and fewer cards that rotate out of Standard can be relevant to Modern. So by creating a new format, you give Standard cards a better chance to remain useful when they rotate out. Hey, the Mike Arnold coming in hot with the 5th month. And Zikda, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back, folks. Hope you're having a great Monday. So I think Thief is worse than Karn because I'm leaving in my Ritual of Soot. So Ritual of Soot cleans away my Thief. Hey, thanks for the half a year of support there, Scissor. Welcome back. And thanks for the tier 2 resub. Let's give Abzan Hero a little boop. Will do. This is supposed to be a mulligan. So Kaladesh and Amonkhet were really bad for Magic Standard format because those sets and the other sets that were in Standard with them at the time were sets where the threats in the set were much better than the answers in them. So basically, the format was all aggressive decks that were incredibly difficult to interact with on average. I think I'm going to bottom this because there's a chance they play a Tamiyo out before I get a chance to play 2 Erasures this game. We'll play Woodland Cemetery here on 1 unless we draw a Shock Land, and then we'll get to Thought Erasure on 2. Stands pretty good balance overall. We get to Erasure to break up their Planeswalkers and non-creature spells. We get a Ritual of Soot to clean out any aggressive start they have, and then we have Tamiyo to generate card advantage as the game goes along. Violet Journey, thank you for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. We've not played the exact 75 of the Aristocrats that I played on stream. I'm planning to write a full primer with a sideboard guide for that deck for Cool Stuff Inc. Later this week. So I'm going to write it later this week, but I'm not 100% certain if it'll get published this week or not, because that's going to depend on when I get it to my editor and what their publishing schedule looks like. Hell, I really want to hit this land, but this Tamiyo is kind of great, right? I think I'm supposed to keep that. I get 2 more shots at a 4th land anyways, because I get to Thought Erasure. You can find details on how to submit a deck to be played on my channel, on my website here, bit.ly/Google for short. Yeah, I don't think I want to play Search next turn, though. I'm pretty sure I want to Thought Erasure and, like, rip this Teferi out of their hand next turn. Oh, they draw a Planeswalker? That's pretty good. One of the better draws in their deck. Duress. Oh. You think I'm supposed to take Teferi here as opposed to taking their Duress? I think Force of Negation will have any impact in Modern. I'd be surprised if that card's too much of a format staple. I'd expect blue-white control to play some number of copies of it, but no, I don't expect that card to change the format drastically. I think something a lot of people like are really high up on, like, Force of Will and, like, keeping Legacy in check, but what a lot of people forget a lot of times when I talk about things like that, it feels like to me, is that it's not just Force of Will gluing these blue fair decks and Legacy together. Ponder and Brainstorm are really messed up Magic the Gathering cards. They are a big part of why these decks are busted and why they keep the combo decks in such good check.
You show remorse, I'll show this. Oh, I've done the hero thing.
Unfortunate here. Now I can't draw counter spells to beat this Command the Dreadhorde either. Yep. So, like, I would actually be in a kind of okay spot here if they hadn't drawn this Teferi. Because, like, I'd have this negate up for the Command the Dreadhorde, but now, like, they just get to go land Dreadhorde and, like, get a bunch of Planeswalkers back, and I'm just dead, right? Like, land Dreadhorde, get back Teferi, get back Jade Light, get back Tamiyo is, like, game ending. I think if you really want to be inbred and you really hate losing to Planeswalker decks, you can play Elder Spells in your main deck. I think, in general, if you're expecting the relatively well-balanced format that's existed so far, the format that has a pile of basic mountains in it, I think main decking Elder Spell is nonsense. I think if you want to play even up to 3 Elder Spells in your 75... like, go for it, but I think main decking it is just, like, it's very wrong. Out of the 128 deck lists that made the second day of the MCQ this weekend, I believe it was something like 36 of them were mono red. Yeah, this format has two very defining factors. The first is that you need to be able to keep up with the basic mountains, and the second is that you need your deck to have some kind of gameplay against the Teferi Narset decks. Those are like the two, like, litmus tests for the format. They're like, you need to be able to be competitive against these things to think about being able to work on a new deck. This hand would really like a shock land. Perfect. We got Scorn, just blunt and aggressive start a little bit. And then we got plenty of other cards to help us go long here. That's true, and that's a very human reaction. Losing to basic mountains only feels bad for a minute or two. Losing to Planeswalkers feels bad for a long time. People definitely don't concede anywhere near fast enough against the Planeswalker decks. Sorry about that. It is a holiday in the United States today. So my wife and kids are home, and Christy decided that she wanted to vacuum the room directly above my workspace there. I think I'm just playing Karn and plussing here. Just like, hey, look, a distraction, draw a couple of cards. Okie doke. The chair's got this. At least we didn't time out. Who's a good little distraction? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah, I think that's great, right? It's like another hey, look, a distraction, basically.
Informant for my study. I think you will find my notes helpful.
I mean, so Nameless Version, this is another reason why I'm really looking forward to getting a new format on Arena, is that regardless of what's currently going on in Standard, this is about the time in the schedule where player apathy really kind of starts to set in terms of, like, what people are really enjoying and interested in. Neither of those were the ritualists that I wanted for Christmas, unfortunately. So I can get Tyrant Scorn here, and I can kill 2 of their things. I guess I can Narset into Ritual of Soot. There's 2 Soots and 38 cards. Is that good? I think that's the play. Because if I miss, I can still Karn down tick, Scorn, and
Just the trick for this.
okay. That could maybe be good later.
The time has come.
Oh no, I tapped my swamp. Oh, I tapped my swamp. So I needed to tap this. Yikes. So little oh, I wouldn't have been able to cast Ritual even if I hit it, huh? Because I tapped my swamp. That was really bad. Wasn't paying attention to my lands. I watched some streams over the weekend because, believe it or not, I'm addicted to Magic and I play too much and watch too much. And like, someone had a message, they had a message in their chat bot about like the auto tapper screwing them all the time, and I was just like, man, some people just like are just like zero personal accountability. I guess it's okay to be like, we made a mistake, but like, don't blame the auto tapper because you messed up. The shuffler's out to get us, yep. I disagree that game seemed winnable. That's why I conceded Cloudy Worlds. I was in a position where my health total was getting low. They were going to clear both my Planeswalkers off the table, and the Midnight Reaper was going to allow them to draw a lot of cards, while the 2 1/2s were going to allow them to pressure my health total, even if I did find ways to clean their board out. So, if I concede a game, it's probably because I think it's not winnable. Or I think it's an incredibly low percentage chance to win, and I'd rather just move on to the next one. This is where the magic happens. Hey, 26 lands later, right? Hey, look, 20 gems. Oh. Sultai Planeswalkers. Yeah. I think there's probably a reason why we haven't seen much of this color combination doing Planeswalkers in this format. I think you struggle in two reasons with this color combination. The first is that you just don't have access to 3-mana Teferi, which is just like one of the best tempo generators in the format. Just like the floor is really high on this card. Like at worst, it's like bounce the thing, draw a card. And at best, this card like wins the game entirely on its own. Another thing that this archetype really lacks compared to the other Planeswalker decks that have been successful is the lack of Sarkhan. Yeah, Baby Tef and Sarkhan are the two big missing things. So Baby Tef lets you win games entirely on its own because it shuts off instant speed interaction, while also generating tempo. And then Sarkhan really allows, like the Jeskai Planeswalker deck, for instance, to pivot hard and fast. That being said, I think after playing this, there's a few things that are not quite optimal on the configuration here. So the person who had submitted this deck for me to update and build around wanted me to maintain the artifact sub-theme, and I think that's probably not an ideal spot to be. I think if I wanted to continue playing Sultai Planeswalker type things, honestly, I might... Do I have it in here? Yeah, Sultai. I think something like Sultai Diviner is probably a better direction to go in. Or if you really wanted to play with a bunch of Planeswalkers, you could still play Tamiyos. In fact, not having Tamiyo in this deck might be wrong too, but I think this more... Basically, both Tezzeret and Karn got worse when Treasure Map became worse in the format, and I think Treasure Map's like borderline unplayable compared to last season, in part because of the mana investment that it requires, but also in part because 3-mana Teferi bouncing it is not ideal. Alright, what are we doing next here? I am planning to stream till at least 2:30, 3 o'clock, I think. So if these next two decks end up being a bit of flops too, we'll play a little bit more afterwards. This one might be a dumpster fire, believe it or not. Non-zero chance this one ends up as a steaming pile. Hey, Gundam Wing Goku, thanks for the tip, I appreciate it. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Oop, let me load my dashboard really quick. Here's some money to share in the joy of finding my passports when I fly out June 10th for the honeymoon. Let's get this towards Abzan here. Will do, Gundam. Thanks for the support. Thoughts on mono black zombies? Well, I don't really know what mono black zombies look like. So I don't know that I really have an educated or informed opinion on a deck that I'm not sure what cards it plays.